push that subscribe button because we're going to do some more videos on basic guitar stuff that you've got down that we're going to go to intermediate. Pretty simple stuff, not too complicated. This kind of stuff that you can develop and get familiar with, and create your own style of playing. Today we're going to talk about the tremolo, or whammy bar, vibrato bar, dive bar. It's got many names. What it is it's part of it's a certain type of bridge with a bar, and it dips down and it goes back up. And if you look back here, you got the springs. Notice I got that brass sustain block there from FU Tones. Really good stuff. The other thing is that's important to have, but you don't really need it if you're just kind of experimenting, is a double locking bridge. So you got it here and up here. Now the locking nut here, you tune and you lock it, then you tune down here until the strings go all the way down on the knobs, and then you reverse the process and then do it over again. The other thing you want to have is you want to make sure that you have a humbucker. I'm using EMGs right now because this is why I picked this guitar. EMG pickups pick up a lot of great sound, but you don't need EMGs. You could use Seymour Duncan, DiMarzio, or whatever is available. I got an Ibanez that's just got those pickups in there, and they're great. You want to use the back bridge pickup. You also want to make sure, too, that you got a lot of, or a good sustainable amount of gain. Gain's going to be like, not distortion, but kind of like that part where it feels like your amp's about ready to break. Now, I'm using an overdrive pedal, which I don't have on right now. You don't need an overdrive pedal. Another thing that helps is reverb and delay. Reverb and delay, that's where you get the type of sound where it's just delays. So, like, it's an effect that either happens in your amp, because I'm going through a Vox amp, or it's a pedal that you use. And reverb is kind of like reverberation. Then there's delay, which is delays the sound for a certain amount of intervals, beats per minute. And when you do that, that's where you get the type of delay. And it helps out with it, because if you don't have it on, it still sounds good. But if you turn it on, I'm also going through a chorus pedal too. So, quick history. Jimi Hendrix. If you don't know who he is, you should know. Came up in the 70s with the vibrato bar, because he's playing left-handed. Would always touch it and do all sorts of crazy things with it. My only problem with him, the way his technique was that his guitar would go out of tune, because there was no locking nut. There was no locking tuners. They didn't exist yet. 1978 comes around, Eddie Van Halen is like, well, I want to do the same thing. So he takes his strings off on his Fender black and white guitar, and he lays it out in the sun, puts it back on, and it stays in tune for quite some time. Later on in the 80s, Floyd Rose came up with the idea of the locking nut. So how do people like Yingwei do it? They have locking tuners, because they don't have the locking nut. So you can get locking tuners. I don't have locking tuners, but I plan on getting those on my Ibanez. Now, real quick thing right here is one of the most popular types of things they do. You'll hear it a lot in Eddie Van Halen, is the low E string going down. So let's turn this overdrive on. It gets loud. And do the low E. Now I think it was Kickstart My Love goes on the D string, A, and E, something like that. So it goes. And those are just open strings. So another one is it's really popular to do is doing kind of like dips. So if we turn off the delay and the chorus, and we do kind of like some, see if we can do it without the overdrive so it's not so loud. It's just some dips, you know. Doing it, you want to make sure that when you're going down, that when you bring it back up, you are going down to a certain note, which is going to be obviously past this unless you're going up, like Diamondback Darrell does with the harmonics. I'll show that in a second. When you're going down, you want to make sure you hit the note that you want and bring it back up. So you have to kind of guess, and you'll get an ear for it, you know. So when you're doing it, you don't want to bring it there. You want to be like. Okay. Another interesting thing to do is open harmonics. Now, I'm not going to do any artificial type of harmonics because that's going to be in a different type of video. But the harmonics that we're talking about are going to be artificial. And I'll do a video on, not artificial, natural harmonics. I'm going to do a video on harmonics so it won't be as confusing when you watch this video. Kind of doing it backwards a little bit. Now, when you do your harmonics, you got your harmonics or overtones, pitches that are going to be like above, same note but above the type of pitch. So you're going to get like here you have the 5th, 7th, and 12th. And if you go up and down, you'll kind of... So, and one of the things you can do is you can do kind of and hit those. Now, when you're doing these type of things, you need to add like vibrato or a tremolo type of effect to get the kind of thing you're going for, and sustain. So if you turn on the chorus back to the overdrive, is this on? No. Delay? Yeah. Chorus and overdrive. And when you're doing the open strings, let's do it here. This is what you get. Man, sometimes I wonder if it would sound good without the overdrive so loud. I need to get a compressor, that's what I need. Let's try to see. It doesn't sound that bad. The overdrive, I mean, it sounds like a concert type thing going on. Okay, so open. Also, another thing you want to do is go down and pull up on the harmonics, but you got to kind of time it right. So you're going so I'm hitting the one here on the what do you call it? The 4th fret. So I'm going down. You can also, if I can hit it right, sometimes I can't because, you know, we all make mistakes. And that was on the 3rd fret. Another thing you can do real quick is the elephant. I'm going to turn on the distortion for this, for the overdrive. The elephant is really great. What it is it's the 3rd string, 5th fret harmonic, and then it's going to be the 2nd string, 7th fret, and then the high E, 1st string, 12th fret. And when you have your volume down, okay, and let's turn up, okay, delay's on, and you can get this type of like screaming type of noise. Now you can do the same thing, but then as the last E string, the first string, you could do it on the 5th fret. And with the volume down and a lot of distortion, because you want to get that, get kind of this effect. You can also start down low and bring it up. One of my best things to do is later on in the video is artificial harmonics as well. But that's pretty much going to be the end of the video. Hope you guys like it. Stay in touch.